Hello. So, how was Mad Max Road Warrior tailored to its audience? How did it age? Well, for starters, everything is way more practical now. Obviously, you've got Max has the same car at first, but in the back there is a massive fuel canister which holds a lot of fuel, so you can tell, okay, it's more practical now. It's less materialistic than it was in the 80s. He's also wearing seemingly less leather, but he's more covered up, so he's more sheltered, not only from the sun but also from anyone attempting to shoot or attack him. He's now got just like a thicker outfit on, pretty much, I guess you could say. One thing that was happening 2015 was Donald Trump was running for president. There was a lot of threat from this very, very right wing, very intense male leader, or soon would be leader anyway, who wanted to drive all the Mexicans and Muslims out of his country, or whatever he wanted to do. There was also Vladimir Putin leading Russia at that point, Assad in Syria, etc. There was David Cameron in England. So there was a lot of threat from in a year or so there was going to be this big American obnoxious white guy who was going to become in charge, and we didn't know that then, but he was running for it. And so the film overall kind of shows it's the same storyline, so nuclear war happened and it's Max is trying to survive in the post-apocalypse, but all authority in that film, all the main antagonists are male, and all of their gangs are completely led by them. There's 3 factions. There's the Bullet Farm, Gastown, and whatever the third one is called, the one led by Immortan Joe, and they're all led by males. So this world where it's similar to 2015 in that way, because there's this fear of all these male leaders coming together and just wreaking havoc, pretty much, which is exactly what the male leaders do in this film. I think there's more representation of women in this film than there is men now, because the women, there is a scene where in the chamber where the Immortan Joe keeps his female slaves, there is one single scene which shows a bunch of books stacked in the corner of the room. So it represents women to be, I guess, more educated but experiencing more misfortune. It's as if they're kind of being exploited, which again is similar to 2015 and modern day, because that's very much something going on with like the flipping porn industry and shit like that. Men aren't represented in that much of a positive light, I would guess, because pretty much all the villains are male, but then again they're not necessarily shown in a negative light either, because again there's the 2 male main characters, Max and Nux. Max is somebody who doesn't trust. He's quite animalistic. He doesn't trust anyone. In this post-apocalyptic world, anyone could be a villain. Nux is someone who has been falsely led on by these fake prophets, Immortan Joe, the Bullet Farm leader, the Gastown leader, and he is shown by the female leaders that what he believes in is wrong and that he can change. It's like kind of a way of saying that we can change. We don't have to keep following these false prophets, etc. Which, it's like watching someone be convinced against Donald Trump, I would say, because I think the a big influence on the main antagonist was Donald Trump, because he, well, yeah, I've said my reasoning for that. So, as I said earlier, there's a lot less materialistic things in that film. A lot of it is very good looking, but it's the practicality comes first. So with the war rig, this massive lorry, they've added a second trailer to it simply to carry more fuel. In the open wastelands, there are the Buzzards, which is a gang which has cars covered in barbs and spikes, so nobody can climb on them and nobody can jump in and hijack the cars. There are cars which have off-road ability, and that is shown. So there's this huge monster truck of a car which has to drive over loads of rubble so that the main antagonist can get to the end. When Max's car gets taken and stolen from him by Immortan Joe's faction, they take it and give it more off-road abilities. They raise the back of it and give it these huge wheels so that it has a higher ride. It shows that, like, practicality is quite vital here. Like, it's while this car now looks cooler, it's important that it works off-road. While it's a very good-looking film overall, it's way more practical than Mad Max Road Warrior.